morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's February 5th. February 5th, 2026. My name's Malcolm. I got my cup of coffee, a couple little things we could chat about this morning. Good morning to Mel and Ray and Random this morning. Thanks for joining me. This special occasion to have Random here. Normally because of the time change, he hasn't been able to participate, but he's here today. Good to see you, my friend. I hope everything's going well down under and stuff. We had a story about Australia and a kid rescuing his family, swimming 4 hours and all this other stuff, and getting help to save his mom and siblings. So that was a really cool story. That was yesterday. So yeah, I know. Bring the end of this daylight savings. I know it won't be long. Hopefully, I can't remember what day is that. Let's ask. What day is the change again? We got the internet. When does daylight savings time end? March 8th. So March 8th. Another month. One more month of your daylight savings, and then we go back to the good old times. So that'll be good. Today is a weird national day. It's National Shower with a Friend Day. I've never heard of this being a thing. Just showering with friends. Seems a little extra. I don't know if I would do that. I don't know. I personally would not shower with any of the friends that I have now. But I don't know. They come up with this stuff. But yeah, National Shower with a Friend Day. It doesn't say you have to be naked. It just says take a shower. Maybe a rain shower. Getting the rain shower. That's probably what it is. April 1st for you on the time change? What's up with that? Morning, Jay Twist. Want to shower? I don't know how they come up with this stuff. Obviously, I go on the site that has the National Day of this and that and the other. And there's probably 3, 4, maybe even 5 different options per day. That's a lot of things to choose from. And then, to come up with 365 days worth of that stuff, I guess you get limited on some ideas and you're like, you know what? Take a shower with a friend day. See how many people take advantage of that. And then you can just be like, look, I'm not trying to impose. It's just today's that day. What are you going to do? I would not suggest approaching coworkers or something like that for National Shower with a Friend Day. That might not turn out well. If they ask you and you're up for it, that's between you two. But yeah. Anyway. Yours changes in April. That's so wild. That's so wild. That your time change is different than ours. Weird. But the days are getting longer and the temperature's fluctuating. Rained a little bit yesterday. It's supposed to be in the upper 40s, low 50s today. So, but the sun's coming out and this weekend's supposed to be really nice. So there's that. I'm glad for that. Love the nice weather. Getting ready to do my gardening and get my little seeds going in the little nursery that I got built. So when I grow a bunch of my plants from seed and then put them out in my garden, and just something fun to do. I get, I'm old. It's old when you get excited about planting seeds. So yeah. What are we talking about in the chat here? Still going on. Starting to cool down. Well, you had temperatures in the hundreds. So yeah, it's good that it's cooling down for you a little bit there, Random. Can you give us a forecast of what our day's going to be like today? You used to do that for us when you were here every day. Let us know how it's going to be. But anyway, what else we got going on? Joke of the day. What do you call cheese that doesn't belong to you? Nacho cheese. That's my Wi-Fi name. I named it to Nacho Wi-Fi because it's Nacho Wi-Fi. It's mine. That's what my Wi-Fi is called here in the house. So all my devices, I have to go in and type in Nacho Wi-Fi and the password to get them linked in. But yeah, nacho cheese. Today's gonna be a 9 out of 10 day. Excellent day. Awesome. You guys are still trying to figure out how you're gonna take a shower together. Um, a Speedo. Oh, Ray in a Speedo. That's yeah, that's a lot to take in. It's a little cold for a Speedo. But whatever floats your boat. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to watch either. So, yeah, we'll just have to take your word for it. May have to be a virtual shower, but you're down. Oh my gosh. I don't know why it's doing that. It did that yesterday. It disconnected and reconnected on its own. I don't know what it's doing. It's being silly. But this is a hot topic across the world because of the United States immigration. I'm not trying to get political, just something from history. In 1917, the Immigration Act passed, requiring people coming in to be able to read. They had to take a literacy test to become a citizen or get into the United States back in 1917. Back in the early 1900s, when a lot of immigration was, people were flooding in from all over the world, going through Ellis Island and things like that to get here. And at the time, they were like, there was a saturation of immigration. There weren't enough jobs for all these immigrants. So they had to put the brakes on some of this stuff, slow things down. So they put this little thing in there about literacy. President Wilson at the time vetoed it and said, no, we're not doing that. And then Congress got together, did a supermajority, and overrode his veto, passed it. They got to learn how to read. They got to prove that they could read before they came in. And that was just to quail the number of people coming in the country because people were flooding in so much at the time. So, yeah, I'm not going to dwell on things going on today because we don't do that type of stuff here. It was just something that happened this day in history, and it didn't involve people dying. Because a lot of times when I go on the history website to find out this day in history, a lot of it's war and death and serial killers doing this or it's horrible news. And hardly ever can I find something in there that's just just regular stuff that doesn't involve people dying or being, in war and famine or whatever. So that's the one article that I could pull out of there for today. So there's that. I don't know if it's still in effect. I think it may be. I don't know. There's a test for being citizenship. It pass all these different questions and take tests to do that. So maybe so. I don't know. I really don't know. Got scared with the shower talk. Oh my gosh. How many people are getting in the shower now? Some Americans still can't read. That is true. There's quite a few people out there that can't read, and quite a few people who can't talk. But there's no rules against that, right? But I have a hard time carrying a conversation by myself on this little podcast for 15 minutes. But anywho, try and read the comments here and keep up with you guys. What's going on your side of the? Yeah, the YouTube sucks on buffering lately. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I've restarted my computer, done all this stuff. I don't want to go on about that. But yeah, let's go on to. I got one more little thing we could talk about before we close it out. Germany. They've had this super bumper crop of potatoes. They call it the potato flood. It's a record harvest and prompts mass spud giveaways across Berlin. They got so many potatoes that they can't even give them away fast enough. That's how many potatoes they harvested this year. That they're just people can just go up to these different distribution places and get sack full of potatoes. You can get as many as you want and walk away with them, do whatever you want with them. And they're just giving them away. They can't even sell them. There's so many of them. They have to get rid of them. So if you like potato soup or French fries or anything else potato related, being in Germany, this is where to be this time of year because the potatoes are free. So but that's I don't know how they some years you just have good yield in your crops, and this year was that year the potatoes were flooding into the markets and they can't sell them. The prices are so low they have to give them away. Can you imagine that? They wouldn't do that here in the States. They would just shred them and use them as fertilizer or something like that. They wouldn't give them away. I don't think so. Let's see. I'm trying to read the comments again. They're still talking about showers and Speedos. You guys still going, oh, we're talking about potatoes now. You guys are still going. I got you guys hung up on Shower with a Friend Day. But yeah, I imagine if something like that happened here in the States, not to be a Debbie Downer type thing, but, you know, we waste so much food here in the States. So much food gets thrown away from restaurants and other things like that. And if they had a bumper crop like that, they would just sell them across the world, or they would just destroy them and use them as fertilizer or something like that. They would not give them away. They wouldn't do it. They would rather destroy them than like give them to homeless shelters or something like that, food banks, things of that nature. It's just the way the country is. It's all about, you got to make that money somehow. And if you flood the market, they can't make their money on the potatoes. So that's what they would do, I would imagine. I know, giving food away, it's a crime. I mean, you know, America sells a lot of food across the world to different countries. Grain and corn and things like that. Other crops that we harvest here in the States get shipped to other countries. So, and sold to other countries. And the whole tariff thing is put what would you call it? There's something in there. It's putting something in the works that's not helping people sell their product across the world, because you got all these tariffs and stuff now, and they tariff us back, and all this tariff war. So yeah, you can go deep into that, down that rabbit hole if you want, but you know, couldn't leave well enough alone sometimes. I don't know. I'm not a politician either. I sell stamps. That's what I do. I got a dog. I make silly videos, and I sell stamps. So what do I know? And I try to stay out of the news as much as possible, unless it's something positive, because I'm tired of the negative, right? Shower and immigration. Go back to the barter system. Whew, man, I don't know if I don't know if I could survive the barter system. I'm gonna have a little bitty raised garden. I don't know what I would be able to trade. I mean, yeah, I don't think the barter system would work well for me. Personally, in a small community, you know, you find a way to barter, whatever. Yeah, it would take actual work. I'd have to start plowing up my property, making crops or something like that, providing some kind of service, helping people out, and whatever else I could do with tools or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully, we won't have to come to that. But yeah, and you'd use barter system to do electrical work. I did that with my computer business, things like that. There was one lady, she was older, and she would always mess up her computer. She couldn't afford to get it for me to fix it, but she would bake me something, you know, or she'd make me a meal, and I'd do it, you know. And she was like, "How can I pay you?" I was like, you know, I felt sorry for her. I was like, "Don't worry about it, I got it." And then next time she called me over, she says, "I baked a cake. Can you come over? You can have some cake." I was like, "All right, I'm on my way." Man, it was back in the good old days. But anyway, as far as owning my own business and doing what I wanted to do with it. But yeah. All right, well, guys, that's about 15 minutes of fame. Thanks for tuning in and watching and listening and conversing about Shower with a Friend. Robert is laying here on the floor sulking. He was very attentive yesterday, but today he's not. Be nice to each other. Be kind. Compliment a stranger. If you have potatoes to give away, like Jeremy, give them away or something like that. I don't know. Take a shower with a friend. Make sure they consent. Don't do it against their will. There's Robert's head. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.